Shutting schools, Boris Johnson said, was his nightmare scenario. But we know that in March 2020, it became the reality for millions of children. And today here at the COVID inquiry, Boris Johnson gave evidence about how his decisions at that point impacted the lives of children and young people right the way across the country. Now, he admitted that closing schools, that COVID itself, that the impact on exams even was a disaster. All of it, he said, a disaster. But he said it had to be seen in the context of what he was trying to deal with, a much bigger disaster. Now, the inquiry has previously heard from the likes of the then Education Secretary, of civil servants in the Education Department, who've criticised the government's failure to plan earlier on for the potential of having to shut schools. This is something today that Boris Johnson pushed back on.
It felt to me as though there had been abundant discussions about closing schools, and it felt to me, to the best of my recollection, as though the department was aware of this, and I assumed that they were planning for it. So I'm not inclined to accept the idea that people fell down gravely in their duty. I think people were overwhelmed by the speed of events, and when the facts changed, they had to change policy.
We also heard about the fiasco around exam grades in the summer of 2020, when an algorithm was used to downgrade many students' results. That left the then PM in a homicidal mood, his words, so much so that he even considered sacking the then Education Secretary, Sir Gavin Williamson. All
I would say is that, you try coming up with a system to give a fair exam result for people when they can't sit exams. It's not easy, okay?
Early on in his evidence, Boris Johnson gave an apology, saying too that he accepted responsibility and accountability for the mistakes his government made. But he pushed back against the toughest criticism levelled at him, talking much about hindsight, how it's easy to see now how things could or should have been different. And he also wanted to remind the chair over and over again the impossibility, the difficulty of the decisions facing him and the monumental challenge he, the government and the country faced throughout the COVID pandemic.